on to Ask DBC, and I know typically we will take fan questions using hashtag AskDBC, so keep doing that. But this week we took a little bit of a different spin and had a few of your friends, Artie, send in some questions.
I have friends?
Well,
fake friends.
Yeah.
Okay, fake friends. That's fine.
People who pay
People I pay?
Yeah.
Okay.
We reached out to some of your high profile folks that work with you, like Caitlin Vincey, Jamie McMurray, et cetera.
Dale.
And said, hey, if you could, and I got to say this before we get into this segment. When I reached out to Caitlin, the first thing she said back to me was, I am so jealous. I've always wanted to interview Artie.
No way.
I'm telling you, that's the first thing she said back.
Yeah,
and then she sent me like 77 questions, and Casey and I went through them. And
that's because she's a professional interviewer.
She is, yeah. So we'll let Casey kick this thing off.
Yes, right. The first one is from Caitlin. What sporting event that you directed will you remember forever?
No, there's a lot. I mean, 2001 Daytona 500 is big, and the first Super Bowl I did, and the first Masters I did. So it's not one. You know, it's like I have 3 kids, so I have 3 events. How's that?
They're all your favorite.
That's great. And listen, the Daytona 500 you reference obviously has a lot of tragedy to it, but it also has Michael Waltrip winning his first ever Cup race, obviously first ever Daytona 500. What Dale Earnhardt envisioned when he hired Michael to come to work for him. Now Michael is on your team and has been for a long time. What's your relationship like with Michael?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you, I actually got chills when you started talking about that. I really did just now, because it was just incredible. It was just an incredible thing. You talk about elation and tragedy all within like a second. That's what I experienced. I knew that Dale was dead pretty much when I saw Schrader, and I also saw Michael in Victory Lane. I saw Junior in Victory Lane, and just saw all this stuff happening independent of each other. And it was amazing. Now Michael is the nicest person I think I know. He is really, it's just a wonderful and nice person. And he once said to me, he goes, Artie, if somebody telling him that Michael Waltrip was mean to them, they're lying. And he is. Michael is just such an easygoing guy. He'll do whatever you need to do. But he works at it. He knows it. You know, he works on all 3 series, you know, so he keeps up on everything that's going on. I love the fact that he's been successful. You know, even though after, Michael Waltrip Racing had to close down and all the hard work that went into that, and then it kind of ended. Now he's just doing great. So I love working with Michael, and I love Michael, period.
Yeah, same for me, man. He's done so much for me in my career. He's the first 2 drivers I started with was Ellie and Michael, and what great guys. And Michael he's an awesome guy. So I got the next question. It's from our buddy Hermie Sadler, and he told me about a weekend where you guys were roommates on his bus, and you had a plumbing issue.
Well, let's make it. I wasn't a roommate on Hermie's bus. Like I just was a guest that wouldn't leave.
You're a permanent fixture.
I was a permanent fixture, and you know why? But back in the early 2000s, and most of you guys that don't remember this, you couldn't get to the track. Forget about leaving the track. You couldn't get to the track sometimes on Saturday. So Hermie and I had, created this bond through autism, and I was telling him, I'd love to stay at the track. You can stay with me, Artie. Artie, just stay with me. And I stayed with the Sadler. I stayed with Hermie probably more than half the races, and sometimes with Angie, and at the time, the 2 girls before the 3rd girl was born.
Right.
It was Artie on the couch and the 4 or 5 Sadlers back in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. So my first time staying, I may have not understood how a motor coach toilet worked. I think that might be what Hermie is probably referencing. There was not a good smell, and there wasn't. Hermie had to do a lot of things that he hadn't planned on doing.
So he had to clean up your.
He had to clean up my.
I love it. I love it. Well, TJ is going to go next, and the guy that he's got a question from is the Pied Piper.
Yeah. So. Next year.
Who's it from, TJ?
Dale Jr. Next year, points race, 400 laps, or All-Star again at Wilkesboro?
So I would love to see a Thursday night before Easter North Wilkesboro Cup race. And that's what I'd like to see.
For points?
I'm down.
Now, that's just me. I think it would be so awesome, a standalone, everybody gets there one day shoot, and it saves the holiday, which is really important, and it gets us back to North Wilkesboro for a race.
Well, since we're still missing Freddie over here, I'll go ahead and ask this question, which is from Jamie Mack. Biggest changes you've ever liked or disliked in NASCAR over the last 20 plus years?
Well, if I don't comment on the cars and the technology. I guess maybe I shouldn't, because I don't know anything about it really. I do hate the fact that the cars are all the same. I mean, I loved when the Monte Carlo looked like the Monte Carlo, and everybody drove the different cars. They were stock cars back then, but that era kind of went. I hated the 2007 car.
With the wing.
The wing. I mean, I just hate
those
it
are
because
bad.
what I always thought a stock car was not a racing car. We built a race car. We built a stock car and we made it fast.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I loved about NASCAR and stock car racing. And that changed. And there's a lot of reasons why it changed. And I don't really understand the technical reasons, but wouldn't you love to see those real makes and models out there like in the old days? Like in the old days, like you talk about 12 or 13 different cars being out on the track. I'm talking about the 60s.
Yeah.
And it was cool. And I love the Ford Chevy, the battles. You were a Ford guy, you were a Chevy guy.
Motor City battles.
Right? I mean, it was big. And that
Yeah.
little Dilbert, the cartoon guy, would be peeing on top of the Ford if they were a
Right.
Chevy guy.
All them stickers.
Right?
He just called in, actually.
Dilbert?
No, because he was peeing on top of it.
That guy. Yeah. He brought it back. So,
What we need now is a Ross character pissing on stuff.
well,
I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it is.
If it's you, call in.
yeah. But that's the thing. I just wish that the cars looked different.
You're right, and I guess I'm going to take it a step further and ask you a question. And this is about TV again, not about the cars, in terms of what they are specifically. But these bodies are so damn durable. Does it piss you off when you see guys just bang into things and they don't have to pit to fix it anymore? Like from a production standpoint, not from the technical standpoint of making the body. I personally don't like a common body like we've got, a one-piece body that's durable. Do you wish that we had more drama when guys make contact?
Yeah. But I also, what I hated is when a car came out had no chance to do anything but run a lap or two and was running for points in those times. And they weren't like, there's going to be slow cars, but then there was crap.
Yeah.
And the car was beat to hell.
Yeah.
Right. And it didn't belong on the racetrack. So I don't miss that at all. But yeah, you see a guy really smack the wall hard. Sometimes it's rear end to front end and they're still driving.
Yeah.
I mean,
Michael McDowell. Yesterday was dog tracking.
yes.
Yeah.
It's look, technology is important, and they tried it out with the Xfinity cars first, and it saves people a lot of money. This sport, one of the biggest issues the sport has is it costs a lot of money, to put one guy in one race car.
Yeah.
It's costing you $20+ million a year to field a competitive car.
Right.
Like, so, we're asking so many different things of the different areas of people. Yeah, we want a sturdy car, a stable car, so we don't have to replace these cars. We don't have to build 32 cars for a season. And then we're kind of criticizing them for, this car's too damn durable. So which way do we want it?
Right.
Sometimes we want durability, sometimes we don't.
We don't, yeah.
Okay, what we do need is cautions.
We do need caution.
We need more cautions, because when the fields get backed up and they got bunched together, you get great racing.
Yeah.
And there was some good racing, by the way. We haven't talked about that in the back of the field. Kyle just checked out because he was just damn better than everybody was.
Yeah.
And the car was better than everyone. They just found that magic sauce between Cliff and him. But there was some good racing that was going on. A caution bunch up the field would have really helped us. Maybe next year we should run a little bit more of heat type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about knockout heat stuff.
Right.
And come out there and
So you like that idea as a TV guy, like run some knockout races.
I love, my personal opinion, not this point of anybody else, is that I would love some knockout races, but I want second chance and I even want third chance because I want our stars to have a chance to make sure they're in the main.
Here's what I had in my brain yesterday. I want to still pay $1 million to the winner, but I want to pay $100,000 to the guy who passes the most cars.
I think that's a great idea. But now you also have to do quality passes, because when you start adding up those passes, if you're outside, if you keep dropping back and passing people,
Right.
I can't beat Larson,
Yeah.
right? I can't. So I'm
Yeah.
going to
It
just keep
becomes a
dropping
game.
to the back and then just running to the front.
Yeah.
Okay. So you also have to count the dropbacks.
Right.
Okay.
You're talking about the guy that starts the deepest and pat. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not Larson. 'Cause
I
he
mean,
missed.
legit, whoever passes the most cars, because guess what that incentivizes him to do at a place like North Wilkesboro?
Move him.
Move them.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's what short track racing's always been. Move them.
Move them.
And I think people tried to move people.
Is that
But-
an event that we could experiment with, like package wise too? Like maybe we find a different, maybe we have different.
We talked about it last week. Run what you brung. Like
A bigger motor,
Bring
less-
some different stuff.
One thing that I saw is you can't move a guy, and they can't. I've seen many guys. I've seen them make contact next to the corner, and everything that I've grown up watching racing. If you make contact with the back of that car, it's going to wiggle that guy. It does nothing but shoot
Propels
this
him
guy
out.
off this corner,
Yeah.
and that's how these guys will get to each other in the middle. The only way to move a guy now is to overdrive the entry and get on him on entry and shove him out of the way. You can't. I saw Chase Briscoe worked the back of Logano's bumper for lap after lap in the middle of the corner. Every time you hit him, it'd knock him away. And in the truck or Xfinity car, that is not going to happen like that. If you bump that guy in front of you, he's not going to be able to throttle up.
So let me ask you guys, because I don't know the answers to this. Like the rear diffuser and everything, the weight of that rear end now, is that heavier than the weight has ever been comparatively? And does that mean that that's why they can't, that bump really projects them?
I don't think it's
sends them
just
forward.
I don't think it's a rear weight thing. It's just the car stuck. It's a sports car now. We're this far off the ground everywhere we go, and we have more tire than we ever have and less motor.
And you guys always talk about, and this is what, once again, I'm outside of my sphere of understanding.
I live in
but
that world.
More horsepower would create more racing, because it would set the better drivers apart.
Well, they got to have less. I think they got to have less grip.
Less grip, more horsepower.
Yeah, because
Put them on the edge. Like whenever I always believe this. We talk about this a lot on TV. If the drivers are complaining about something, we need to keep it. If the drivers are happy, we need to get rid of it. And I don't mean that to criticize them.
No, I get
it. Look, they want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
They want to be damn comfortable. This is what I do. I want to be comfortable.
They're also selfish.
But
Yes.
they're selfish because this is what they do. We all want to be comfortable in our lives. But what makes racing great is when you can deal with the discomfort of what's around you. And the better racers deal with the discomfort. If you make them too comfortable, it ends up not being as good racing. No grip, hot day.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of horsepower.
That's what I want. Yeah.
And I always think, the cars I don't think they should even know what the package is. I think they should get there on Sunday and this is the package and how guys figure it out.
Surprise.
Right?
Yeah.
Surprise. Here's what we
Surprise.
got
Yeah.
this week.